What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. I'm your host, Damon Anthony, and as usual, I keep the talk just about sports, not any of the other rhetoric. What the players do, how they do it, that's what I rock with because I like sports. Like and subscribe if you're new. Check us out on all. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. I'm your host, Damon Anthony, and as usual, we keep the emphasis on sports, not everything else. We talk about what goes on in between the lines, maybe some office stuff, but nothing personal. You know what I mean? Like and subscribe if you're new. If you like to listen to podcasts, we are available on just about every streaming service that's out there. So check it out, catch up. That being said, that being said, had one episode, somehow or another, the technical gods messed it up. So here we go again. Let's talk NFL week 2. We didn't get a chance really to break that down like we wanted to. Now we have that chance. Let's start at the top of week 2. Starting off with Washington and Green Bay. Washington went into Green Bay, lost 18-27. Green Bay looks like that team. I don't know if they are. I don't know how great they're going to be, but currently they're everybody's darling. It's the team that everybody wants to talk about. They're going to be the team rivaling Philly. After week 2, let's just see. They look damn good. Washington didn't look terrible, but Jane Daniels did get a little banged up. So we'll have to see his health going into week 3. There were a few quarterback injuries, some bang ups, some concussions, things like that. So definitely enough to pay attention to. And you better believe we will. Moving on to Sunday. Sunday had a slew of pretty solid games, a couple really exciting games, and a couple devastating injuries. One of the injuries came in the Bengals versus Jags game. Bengals won the game 31-27 at home just to go to 2-0, but they suffered the loss of Joe Burrow once again, just about the rest of the season. If Browning can step in there, keep that team afloat, maybe Burrow can come back in December, lead them guys into the playoffs. But if not, then this might be the year for Joe Burrow's just out. Comeback player of the year next year. Really tough, I guess, if you're a Bengals fan. Always feel like that offense is really good and the defense can match that intensity. They'll be that team right there with the Chiefs, the Bills, the Eagles, the Ravens, those teams that are competitive every year. But losing Burrow really hurts them. On the other side of the ball, Jacksonville didn't necessarily look bad. They look like a team that's still trying to find their legs, find their new system under their new coach. I think the future bodes well for Jacksonville, but all of that is going to depend on what Trevor Lawrence does. Now, the next game was actually one of the more entertaining, wow games of the week. Um, I know sitting on my couch, I was going crazy, just watching the game because I happened to pick the Cowboys in survival. Dallas Cowboys defended their home field advantage against the New York Football Giants and won 40-37 to go to 1-1 on the early season. Now, the Cowboys, their defense looks terrible. Russell Wilson cooked like he was in Seattle playing with the Legion of Boom. 450 yards, 3 tuds, those deep Russell Wilson balls that everybody knows were connecting, and he was smacking Dallas around all the way to the end of the game. Aubrey had to come in, hit game time field goal, had to go to overtime, have the game winning field goal as overtime was running out. I was nervous because I picked the Cowboys in Survivor. So now I guess a little taste of what Cowboy fan life is. It's tough. It's nerve wracking. It's reckless. But either way, Cowboys went ahead and took that one. I think now we can also stop talking about putting Jackson Dart in the starting lineup. Go ahead and let Russ play. Let the young guy carry the clipboard and learn because obviously Russ was not washed. Then we had the Detroit Lions at home. Remember, they lost last week to the previously mentioned Green Bay Packers. Everybody thought the Lions are done. They lost both their coordinators. It's not going to be the same team. Sure, it's not going to be the same team. But you know what they did on Sunday? They put up a 50 burger against the Bears. Detroit crushed the Bears 52-21. Everybody was good. can't say nothing bad about anything having to do with the Lions, but I will say this to One Pride Nation and to the Lions fans: let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, feeling like we put up this 50 and now we're ready. Now we can beat anybody. It's the Bears. The Bears are not very good. Remember, Bears, first year coach, second year quarterback who's now had two different coaches, who's trying to figure out the NFL and is understanding that it's not college. I'm a USC fan too. So I'm a Caleb Williams guy, but it's a whole different vibe, a whole different game. Got a lot to learn. Meanwhile, the Lions, they look like they're fine. They look like they're fine. They look like they are the Lions that we've seen the last couple of years, and they're going to have a good season, and they're going to be there. I'm just looking forward to seeing it. The game this upcoming Sunday night, when I run through everything tomorrow, whoo, that's one I'm looking forward to. Lions and Ravens. Back to week 2. Los Angeles Rams walked into Tennessee, knocked off the Titans 33-19 to improve to 2-0 on the season. The Titans are, I think, what everyone expects the Titans to be. They're a young team. They're still building. They're still getting there. Cam Ward, number 1 pick, great young talent. He probably had one of the most outstanding passes that I've seen a rookie make for a long time. I mean, about 40, 50 yards across the body on a dot to score a touchdown. Not a lot of people can make that throw. I think Tennessee is going to be fine as they go. Currently, they're just in rebuilding phase, and the Rams walked into that stadium, and they did what they're supposed to do. You go in there, you knock them off 33-19. That offense is looking like it's starting to find its way a little bit, and that could be some trouble for everybody. But the Rams went in there, knocked it down. Then we had the Patriots go into Miami and knock off the Dolphins 30-27. It's not a typical thing that happens. Usually New England cannot go into Miami in September and win a game. But this ain't those Dolphins. This Dolphin team looks completely in disarray. I don't know if the coaches lost the team. I don't know what it is, but this team just looks kind of disinterested in ball. Meanwhile, the Patriots, they're young, they're revitalized, they're ready to go. Mike Vrabel's out there having a blast with the guys, running up and down the field. That's what you want to see out of a team that is building. Yes, they're going to be getting better. Yes, they have a lot of young players, but they have a coach that's tied into the team, and the team seems to be tied into the coach. I think the future of the Patriots is bright. Not saying it's going to be what it was, but this is going to be a team that's going to be competitive. Let's give it a year or two. Meanwhile, Dolphins, y'all need help. Y'all need help, some kind of help. And we had the Bills go into New York and knock off the Jets. Buffalo walked in there. There was no real problem. By halftime, the score is 20-3. Let's go ahead and take it on in. No biggie. Now for the Jets, Justin Fields did get banged up a little bit. He may be out. I think he's out this week with a concussion. Tyrod Taylor maybe the starter there. So I don't know what that Jets offense is going to look like. But with the Bills, it's the same old Bills. We know what they look like. I'm not going to sit here and gush over the Bills, mainly because it's the Jets. You're supposed to beat them. I'll talk crazy about them when they go out and beat a hell of a team like they did last week against the Ravens. Bills 30, Jets 10, as expected. Hold on, let me adjust my hat here a little bit. Then we had the 49ers go into New Orleans. First of all, I love the fact that the fans like to go into these different cities and just take over, see a red. Couple weeks. But San Francisco walked in New Orleans, knocked them off 26-21 with backup Mac Jones under center. A lot of, you hear a lot of the talking heads, you read a lot of things. A lot of people are saying, wow, Mac Jones was this good. Should we have paid Purdy? Yes. Purdy's did this over a couple years. Anybody you put in front of him, he has no problem. We saw what Mac Jones was before he got here. Could this team help revitalize him? Absolutely. But let's not count everything off of one game against one of the league's worst teams when it wasn't an outstanding overall. We didn't put 50 points up, 26-21 against a bad team. New Orleans, on that side, we know that they're in a complete rebuild. We know they got a new coach. They're still trying to figure out the quarterback situation. Radler did not look like a bad quarterback. He looked just fine. I'm not going to say too much about him, but that's a team that is kind of trying to refigure it out. Yes, I know they got Kamara. Yes, I know they got Olave, but there's been so many moving parts in New Orleans that they have to figure some things out. With San Francisco this week, big question is, does Brock Purdy come back? Me personally, just as a fan of the team, go ahead and sit Brock Purdy for another couple weeks until the 49ers lose. If they win this week, sit him again next week until they lose so he can come back 100% healthy. Maybe he comes back right on time with Kittle. I just don't know. But big shout out to the faithful. Go Niners. And hey, this was a game that to me, I didn't really see coming. This is kind of upset pickish a little bit. But Seattle Seahawks went in and knocked off the Steelers 31-17. This was kind of advertised, and I think everyone thought of this one as the Metcalf revenge game. Ended up being the Seattle revenge game. Seattle came in there and did what they wanted to do. I think one thing that is abundantly clear after week 2, Steelers defense really isn't that great. Offensively, they're going to figure some things out. We understand Aaron Rodgers is who he is. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback that's gone to this team. He's played for them within for 2 games. They're going to figure some things out. He's going to figure out it's his team. They're going to figure out all of his tendencies, vice versa. Offensively, I believe they'll be fine. But defensively, you give up 30 points back to back against offenses that weren't highly touted. That's a little tough to digest for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I really think that they need a little work there. We'll see what the future brings. Seattle, like I said, they look good. Sam Darnold looked really solid, did his thing, put up 30 points, put up 17 in the fourth quarter against the Steelers and the quote unquote steel curtain. That says a lot. That says a whole lot. Then we had an AFC North battle, which this one I was right, but I was wrong. Browns went into Baltimore and got smacked in the teeth, 41-17. Now, where I was wrong about this one, the Browns tend to play their division rivals really close, win, lose, or whatever it may be. I thought that maybe the Browns might be able to keep this one a little close, and the Ravens would just win in the end. Didn't really happen like that. The Browns weren't too out of reach, but the Ravens are the Ravens and the Browns are the Browns. Ravens continue to look fantastic. Derrick Henry didn't really have a good game. You could put some of that on the Browns defense. Lamar Jackson still went out and threw for 4 tugs. He's still always going to be in that MVP race or in that rare air of quarterbacks. The Ravens will, we understand they lost horribly last week. They'll be fine. Ravens beat the Browns 41-17. Now, another game that had a fantastically exciting, crazy finish. The Broncos at the Colts. Now, this one, first half of the game, a lot of scoring. Up and down, points on the board. Second half, defense came to play, and it wasn't as fun of a game to watch until the very end. Colts, chance to win the game, kick the field goal, boot it, flag for leveraging. Those of you all that don't understand what that is or felt like the referees cheated, that has been a call that's been around. I've seen that flag thrown plenty of times. When you have a team that has to make a 60-yard field goal, don't try to do anything funny. Just play base D and try to rush the kicker. But to try and leverage yourself, you're looking for a flag. They call the flag, move them up. Now the Colts kick a walk-off and win in amazingly terrible fashion for a Denver Bronco pick. Really cool for me to sit on the couch and watch that one because it wasn't my team, but wow, what a game. Colts knock off the Broncos 29-28. Then the next game was my nobody cares game of the week because I'm just telling you, outside of the fan bases, nobody really cares. Fan bases, fantasy football, that's it. Carolina Panthers went into Arizona, lost to the Cardinals, 27-22. There's not a lot to talk to about this game. Bryce Young actually looked pretty decent. The Cardinals, I don't know what really to think of them. The one thing I can say in the NFC West, all of those teams pretty, I won't say even, but they're not terrible. None of those teams are a dumpster fire, including the Cardinals. Cardinals are 2-0. Cardinals 49ers play this come Sunday. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to say the 49ers because I just think that they're better, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if it went the other way. But Carolina, Arizona, nobody cares. Arizona 27-22. Now, probably the most anticipated game of the day was Super Bowl rematch from last year. Philadelphia Eagles went into Kansas City, defended their Super Bowl crown, and knocked off the Chiefs 20-17. This game was full of a lot of little interesting things, right? Now, after this game, of course, everybody wanted to holler for Kansas City. Where's the help? Where's the support? They need more guys there. It's true. It's just not necessarily a bad statement. But if Travis Kelce doesn't bobble that pass at the goal line, which would have been a touchdown, then it's not picked off. Then we would be having a whole different conversation right now, which is fair to say. That didn't happen though. Philadelphia held it down and went ahead and won the game. Philly's 2-0 in the season. Chiefs are 0-2. That could be 1-1 and 1-1. Do I believe that the Chiefs aren't going to be there in the playoffs? No, Chiefs would be just fine. But for this one, Philly owned the day. Night game on Sunday. This one to me was very, 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 very boring. Had the Atlanta Falcons to go into Minnesota, take on the Vikings. We don't really know what they're going to be. We don't know what their quarterback is going to be. JJ is a rookie-esque, where you got to check to play regular season. To me, rookie. Michael Penix Jr. definitely didn't start last year. After Kirk got benched, he came in halfway through the year. So he's like a rookie plus to me. So I really don't know what these teams are going to bring week to week. Bijan Robinson is turning into that player that we all expected him to be. When he came out of college, he's looking like an absolute beast. But the Falcons won this one 22-6. McCarthy, another quarterback, got banged up. But either way, you only put up 6 points. You weren't playing the best team in the league. Got to do better, Minnesota. Atlanta, I want to see how they round out. I think they're going to be a really, really fun and entertaining team as the season goes. And they have a chance to be really good. They really do. But Falcons, 22-6. Monday nighters. These ones were actually cool. So we had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going into Houston and knocking off the Texans 20-19. This one came down to a end of game drive that Tampa Bay did the best they could at managing the clock to leave nothing on the time clock after they scored the touchdown. Couple seconds, what are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. Baker, I've said before, I say it again, Baker's found his home in Tampa. Baker right now is making all the executives and all that in Cleveland look really bad for choosing to get rid of him. They probably should have chose to keep him. Maybe they wouldn't be in the sad situation that they are. But the Bucks, they look just fine. NFC South, I believe it's theirs to lose. Meanwhile, the Houston Texans, they fall to 0-2. I still think that they're going to be fine. They're going to be in the running to get their division, but they got to pay attention to the Colts. Colts haven't been 2-0 for a very long time, and Indiana Jones is rolling. So this may be a tough AFC South battle. Bucks 20, Texans 19. Then we had the Los Angeles Chargers take on the Las Vegas Raiders in an AFC West showdown. This one, so look, man, I'm just going to say, having these late games started 10 o'clock Eastern is wild. It's wild, but I get it, especially if you're putting two West Coast teams up there. Everybody should be awake and watching those and just kind of prime time-ish on that end. The Chargers, they look like a fine team. I'm not going to say great, not going to say bad. They look like a team that can compete against anybody. That defense is absolutely humming. Justin Herbert is balling out there. They look fine. They're going to be okay. The Raiders, on the other hand, the Raiders look like a very mid-level team to me. There's something going on there with their offensive coaching. Chip Kelly, I don't know why Genty isn't playing more. Genty's kind of a bell cow type back. You can get him in the game a little more. Maybe that might help. That's not what they did. Didn't work out for them. 20-19. It's a hell of a week too, overall. I'm very happy to sit back and watch it. I'm not really being too much of a prisoner of the moment on anything. I'm not going to call anybody terrible or great just yet. The teams that I believe are terrible and going to be terrible, that was happening anyway. I knew that before the season started. The surprise team to me right now is the Indianapolis Colts being 2-0. That wasn't something anybody saw coming. They're a team that's all the time. So for them to start this way, really good to see. Really like that. This is fun. Always love a good football Sunday, right? So now let's talk a little bit about the WNBA. All right. The NBA is in full swing as far as the playoffs. Only four, only four matchups in the playoffs. We know there's only a small amount of teams. Very good matchups, I believe. I really think that it's going to be Liberty and Atlanta versus the Aces and the Lynx. I'm in the Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals. Could I be wrong? Sure, because both of the teams trailing 0-1 won their games and tied them up last night. Indiana went ahead and knocked off Atlanta just to tie that series up. Now, we do know that Indiana's without CC. They're still a damn good team. So this one could come down to anything. I like Atlanta because they're the home team. Seattle and Diggins, they did their thing against the Aces, snapping a 17-game winning streak. The Aces have been rolling. They were looking like that team that was going to roll their way right through the playoff. But they took that L last night. I expect the Aces to rebound. The next game is in Vegas. I think Asia Wilson's going to come out and try and go crazy. I really think the Aces I think they're going to be right up there, real right up there. Now, tonight, now the Phoenix Mercury at the New York Liberty. Still have to see if Stewie is going to play. She's a little day to day was banged up. I still think New York could beat Phoenix without her, but you want to have her. You want to be full go because it's the playoffs. You're up 1-0, but you don't want to lose games and have your back against the wall. Meanwhile, Minnesota Lynx are going into Golden State to take on the Valkyries. MVP, cold. Studbuds, cold. I think they go in and just run the sweep. Valkyrie, it was nice knowing you, nice welcoming you to the league. Bit hats off for even making it to where you made it because a lot of teams don't do that in their first year in any league at all. But they got where they needed to go. I just think now it's time for Minnesota to send them on home. Quick look at the baseball standings. Playoffs are on the way. Wild card races are heating up right now in the wild card for the American League. Yankees, Sox, Stros all hold the wild card spots. Guardians right behind that need to do a little work to catch up. In the National League, you got the Cubs, the Padres, the Mets. They're holding down the wild card spots with the Diamondbacks, Reds, and the Giants not far behind. These playoffs, I think, are going to be really, really, really fun to watch. Anytime you got Milwaukee and the Brew Crew in it and they're rolling, especially you get a home run and you get the beer guy going down the damn slide, that's always fun to see. Just always fun to see. Toronto doing their thing in the AL East. That's a real young team. That's a team that old guys like me, I'm going to be able to watch, have the sound on. I'm probably going to look up every now and then because I hear Vladimir Guerrero. I look at, oh, Junior. Ante Bichette Jr. Some of these young guys, I really like what this team is turning into. I want to see what the Dodgers, what are they going to do? The Dodgers, they're a team that they're built like the Warriors when they were winning those championships. The Dodgers should be there. They should be doing their thing. But let's not forget the Brewers are good. The Phillies are good. And then you look at some of these wild card teams, if they get matched up again with the Padres, I'm gonna love to see that. The Padres are full of talent, and that's a rivalry that they really don't like each other. They really don't like each other. And I'm all for it. Gotta have it. On the AL side, I want to see what Detroit. Detroit did their thing all year. They looked really, really solid all year. Are they going to carry that with them into the postseason? I believe they could. I believe that they'll be fine, but I believe a lot of shit that doesn't come true. So I don't know, right? It's only time to tell, and that's one of the beautiful things about sports. Great college football games coming up this weekend. Next pod, I am going to go through all the games game by game and pick them. I definitely did that this week. I picked them all. I lost four. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went 12-4 this week on picks. I got to do a little better. Uh, obviously, not like I'm a guru or anything, but I'm enjoying doing it, enjoying watching these games, set myself up as you see kind of a little bit of the setup behind me right now. Um, y'all keep plugging along, keep listening. Like I said, like and subscribe if you're new. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon. Find us a little bit everywhere. Until next time, y'all, I will holla.